What's up, everybody out there in podcast land? Once again, it's your girl B, and I'm back with the B-Side Podcast, and I'm here to present tonight Dr. Williamson from the Chicago Mass Choir. Now, she's been around for a minute. However, the Chicago Mass Choir is on the move for God, and they are on the move to keep choir music alive. Now, they do a lot of community service. They host annual programs. They do all kind of things to make sure that choir ministry is still relevant ministry in 2014. So what we want you all to do is, again, I always say this, sit back, relax, and enjoy this interview with Dr. Williamson from Chicago Mass. And we'll see you later on the B-Side.
Hi, I'm Ferranda Williamson, Dr. Ferranda Williamson,
yes,
President of Chicago Mass Choir.
Yes, ma'am. It's good to meet you. Well, my name's Bianca Woodard, like you know that already, and I run Toccoa Gospel Music News, which is out of Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's where I'm from, but I love some Chicago singing.
Oh, okay. Have you ever been to Chicago?
I've been there once. It was back in '99, okay. I think it was. We went to Bishop Larry Trotter's church. I used to sing with a group, and we sang at one of their Friday night things. So, yeah.
Now, what date was that when you were at Bishop Trotter's? Because I'm now a member of Bishop Trotter's church.
It was back in '99. We went to the Joshua Joint. I think it's what it was called back then.
Yeah. That's like the little reception area annex to the church. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So, the choir's been going on since 1988. That is amazing.
Yes, it has.
And you were one of the...
Actually, we were birthed out of the ECC Music Workshop, 1988, which is 25 years old, but Chicago Mass Choir as an entity of its own is 23 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were one of the founding members?
Yes, I am, and I've been the president CEO for the last 22 years. No, 20 years, yeah. Our founder, he passed, the late James Chambers.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. So how does being a founding member of Chicago Mass drive your decision-making for the choir?
Oh, that's a great question. I think for me, always looking at not just the vision of our founder, but how we want to continue to move our organization forward for the future, for longevity. So I always look at longevity for the organization because a lot of organizations that were based upon a founder, and unfortunately when the founder passed, you know, they don't survive. Mm-hmm. So longevity and how do we continue not just the vision of the founder, but, you know, how do we strategically move forward with God's plan for the organization?
Okay, so what do you think gives Chicago Mass that longevity that you all have experienced?
We're committed to our style. Mm-hmm. We have been and are traditional with our faith. We do also expand for contemporary, and I think when people hear Chicago Mass, they know it's going to be music of encouragement and uplifting traditional gospel music.
Okay. Well, you know, I was hearing about 2 years ago at the Stellar Awards that choir music is dying. Oh, it's dying, et cetera, et cetera. You know. So what do you guys do to keep your music relevant, you know, in an age where people are downsized and, you know, they don't travel with the big choirs anymore that much? So what do you guys do to keep yourself relevant and keep yourself energized?
Yeah, we have options. Even though we have a membership of 85 clubs, we do strategize where we're able to, in some incidents, move the entire choir, and in others we downsize. For example, this year we will be completing our 10th tour abroad, and we take approximately 20 singers. So we can execute the larger group or even an ensemble group. So I think being flexible and being nimble is the key. And also we help support, and given that, you know, it's not as economical, profitable to move a large choir, we even support ourselves with taking on some of the costs for engagement by sponsoring an annual concert, and that concert helps us to defray some of our traveling expenses, especially when we want to minister and maybe the church or organization cannot afford all of the fees that is required. For example, they may be able to take on the transportation, and we would support with the hotel. So we just try to be flexible and create options where we can still continue to be viable. And I would say that we really capture the insights of usage of social media and community outreach, because it's not just for ministry to support churches and organizations for concerts, but we do reach out to the community in terms of nursing homes. We support a classroom every year for back-to-school supplies. We also participate in helping a particular shelter here in Chicago at Christmas and also Thanksgiving with canned goods. And we've even supported what they call an initiative, Toys for Tots, where we would go in and bag toys that's given out to the community. So I think it's really important that there is a focus on community outreach as well.
Okay. All right. You're just going all into my
questions. I do that whole dynamic that it's over for the choirs. I don't see that. I think everything has a season, and I do think that the season of choirs are going to be on the upside. Hello?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah. Praise teams are great, but you still need that basic choir, and congregations are looking for, that choir sound, and I think we're on the upscale with that.
Okay. So how do you guys go about recruiting members for the choir? Or do you guys, have a open call if you'd like to come sing? Do you have to audition, or how does that work?
Yes, we have a process because we feel that it needs to be a good fit for both the prospective member and that we feel that this person would add to our organization. Sometimes individuals will try to look to an organization based on popularity or, I've heard of Chicago Mass and really don't have an idea of our vision and mission. So we have an audition dynamic, and right now we're basically closed except for the age groups 21 to 39. And when we audition, it's usually once a year in January, and there is a process. And one of the things I think is critical that individuals really sit in on our rehearsals to get a feel of what we're about, because I think it's important that you understand if this is something that you feel comfortable with being a part of, and if there's a fit. And, of course, at the end of the day, it's not 100% assessment, but it gives you an idea. Then there is an orientation process, and we also give a quiz because I think you need to know something about the organization that you're joining. For example, to be a part of Chicago Mass Choir, you need to know our founder's name. Like you said, we were organized in 1988. We're from an ECC music workshop. Do you know some of the songs that we have recorded? Where have been some of the key awards or nominations that we received? And I think this is critical. Then we give an overview of the responsibility in terms of the guidelines to be a part of the organization. And from that point, there is the audition for the vocal. The vocal is great, but I think there's a combination as well. And then we make a determination if we're going to move forward with providing the individual an opportunity to join the organization. It sounds like a long process, but it does help in the long run so that everyone is clear and we're on the same page regarding the expectations of the organization.
Okay. So
I know that was a lot, but yeah, we feel that we're asking just like a family,
Okay.
You're asking someone to join your family, and it's very important, and we need to be prayerful on both sides. Would this be a good fit? Do we always make the best determination? Not always, but I'll tell you, this really helps in terms of identifying individuals that really want, and it's a weaning out process.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people may decide, I don't want to go through this process, and that's fine.
Right.
But those who really want to be a part of the organization, and we just had one member who joined from St. Louis, Missouri, and who is faithful and travels to rehearsals, comes to the engagement. And I can't tell you how I really tried to discourage the member from not joining, but this member has proven to be a faithful member.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's important. So, you don't want somebody to join and then they're not there. And so that's an important thing. It's important. Okay. So the latest CD that you guys just put out, what has the response been, and where have you traveled? What places have you traveled with that particular project that you guys just put out, the live one?
Well, that's Project 15. Mm-hmm. That's our live, and that was recorded in the TBN theater studio. It was a live recording outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And with that project, we have received overwhelming support. God is my everything, mighty good God. Praises go up, blessings come down in terms of look up and get your blessing. Awesome God. And really, we've traveled throughout the Midwest, and actually we had an opportunity to do a live TV taping, 2 live TV tapings, one on the Bobby Jones show. We traveled to Washington, D.C., and the other was the Gospel Superfest, and we traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. And we also utilized Facebook and our website for the social media piece. And I shared this, I've mentioned this before, because that's a great medium for getting your music exposed in addition to radio and other media platforms.
Okay, I saw you guys at the Gospel Superfest in Atlanta. I was there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was working the backstage, but I was there working. But it was. You guys did an outstanding job. I was like, they are really singing up there.
Oh, thank you, Bianca.
Yeah. I heard you guys. That was my first time seeing you guys live. I kind of been.
Okay.
I sang in the gospel choir at school, and I'm actually the president of my choir at church. So and I went to college in 1992. So I'm kind of right in that little era.
Yeah.
I'm right in that era. I went to Georgia Southern University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is down here. We had a pretty big gospel choir as well, so we always looked for material, and you guys were one of the people that were always on our list to see what Chicago Mass put something out.
Right, and I'll say this: you mentioned that people do various choirs do look to us for music, and I'll get calls all the time. Where can I get your project? We need something for our Sunday morning worship. We need something for our choir's concert. Or we need something for praise and worship. So we get all of the different genres here, So, and I think one of the things God has blessed us with the longevity with the brand. When you hear Chicago Mass, people know of the choir. Even if they have not seen us live, you say, oh, yeah, Chicago Mass, traditional choir, and that's one of the things God has really shown favor, that we do have a brand in the recognition of our name.
That's true. Okay, so from choir president to choir president, I have a question for you.
Sure.
How do you guys keep it together as a unit, and what's the most challenging thing for you about being just over everything and having?
Well, when you working with people and different personalities and backgrounds, and one of the things for me, I always try to lead by being first prayerful and fair.
Okay.
And when people understand the expectations and communicate what are the clear expectations, and actually making sure that the leadership team, you have professionals, your finance team, your music director, your producer, your administrative assistant, really search for people who are experts in those areas and that are team players. And when people that are members see a unified leadership team, they will support it. They may not understand all of the decisions, but at the end of the day, if lines of communication are always kept open, they will see that it's what's best for the organization.
Okay. All right.
And I think it's critical as a leader if you must know the people that serve in your organization. And people have all different backgrounds, different agendas, and different needs. And I often tell the choir, I'm not their pastor, and Chicago Mass is not their church. But on the other end, as a leader, people do look to leaders for guidance and direction.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Was that helpful?
Yeah, it is. It is actually. It is. So you guys, your robes are nice. The blue ones that are in the picture that I got, they're right nice. So who actually either designed them or manufactured them? And that's a question I always ask.
Oh, okay. We work with a designer here in Chicago that really is very popular and does the robes for a number of groups. We did the basic design, sketch, and they just brought it to life.
Okay.
And we don't do a lot of different robes. I try to get something that's basic that would have a little longevity. We've got another robe that's a gray robe. I don't know if you've seen pictures of us in a gray robe. But, something that's going to have not lifelong, but a little longevity for it.
I understand. Okay. So, and you guys, in your travels, can you tell us about the most eventful road trip that you can remember that the choir has been on? And it can just be anything from
but I would say the length. We went to Billings, Montana, and that was a 24-hour bus trip going through the mountains and just being able to see all the scenic area and just the wonders of God, the Grand Canyon. And that was the first time in that area that they had a black gospel outdoor concert. And we sang in 95-degree temperature. And the community was 95% Caucasian, and the African Americans of the community just couldn't believe that Chicago Mass was actually going to be doing an outdoor concert in Billings, Montana.
Wow. That had to be something else.
Yes. But, we were encouraged. They were encouraged. People were crying. They didn't want us to stop singing.
Wow.
But that was a long bus ride.
Wow. Okay, so I know you mentioned the annual concert a little bit earlier in the conversation. Can you tell us a little bit about when that is and what you guys normally do during those times?
Yes.
The annual concert.
We have currently had today 14 annual spring concerts, and our 15th concert will be held the first Saturday in May. And those concerts are always held the first Saturday in May in Chicago at Sweet Holy Spirit. And what we do is we also honor our choir members for outstanding service, as well as we honor various mothers that attend, perhaps the oldest mother or the youngest mother. There's certain criteria. And we also give a donation to a nonprofit organization. Last year we gave
the
to
AIDS
Chicago AIDS Foundation, given to breast cancer support. We've also given to nonprofit, our brothers and sisters in Haiti. We did that for like 3 consecutive years. We've donated to organizations that support women's shelters and men's shelters. So each year we identify a nonprofit local organization to support. We've supported for sarcoidosis, and the list goes on and on. And with this, we don't do a lot in Chicago, and this gives us an opportunity to connect with our supporters in the Chicago. And each year, God has shown favor that we have had a packed, overflowing house.
Wow. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, and I'm getting down to my last couple of questions. So what's your favorite song or favorite album from Chicago Mass?
Oh, wow. I guess it would. Of course, I love them all and all the songs that I lead personally. But
I saw that too.
Say, yeah, I would have to say, Don't Give Up, Hold On, because that was the first project under my leadership. And with that, I will always have memories that we had to really come together as a team to make that project happen, because it was during a renegotiation with the record company, and we had to really prove ourselves. And that project and the song, regardless of what you're going through, whatever the situation is, just don't give up, hold on.
Okay. All right, so what can we expect to see from Chicago Mass? I know you said you guys are going on your, you're going out of the country for your tour.
So we're also working on, we haven't identified a date for a new recording,
okay,
but we are currently working on new material and just looking at how we can continue to move forward and better market our organization. And we would love to expand, actually, Augusta, Georgia, if you know of any promoters in the area. We've never been to Augusta, Georgia. We'd like to minister in areas that we have not ministered before, specifically places as Augusta, Georgia, Florida. We've been to Texas. We haven't been to California in a while. So just trying to connect with places that we have not been to either in a while or before to fellowship and minister.
Okay. And if someone wanted to book you all, what would they need to do?
Okay, they can call area code 773 925 6755. That's 925-6755.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to thank you for speaking with me today.
Yes.
This has been very helpful for me. And hopefully it'll help somebody who listens to it as well. Yeah, I admire people that have been in this as long as you all have. And there's always something that you can gain from a conversation.
Absolutely. And also we can be connected on Twitter and Facebook at our name, Chicago Mass Choir, or our website at chicagomasschoir.com.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I will make sure I circle back with Tracy, let her know that everything went well. And I appreciate you coming on to talk to me today.
Thanks, Bianca. Now, will this be a news article?
It'll be I'll write some, and then I'll actually have some snippets from our actual talk today. So.
Okay, and you'll let me. I'll get a copy so I can share with others.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely will do that. What's your email address? Did you want me to send it to your email or?
Yeah. You can, or you
or
can
just have Tracy send it over.
Yeah, you can send it out. But my email address so that you'll have it if you hear of anyone that may be interested. My first name is Feranda, Feranda @Comcast.net.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity.
No problem.
Yeah.
You enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Again. Why don't you try to come next May, the 1st of May, and be my guest at our concert?
I have a friend. He's from Chicago, and he's singing Walt Whitman, and he's always trying to get me to go. He's always trying to get me to, you need to go to Chicago, because, anytime somebody says they're from Chicago, it's like my ears go straight up.
Right.
Like, okay, well, who do you sing with?
Right.
Like, I feel like I should have been born there.
Right. He's with Walt now?
No, he used to sing with Walt Whitman when he was 14, I think. He said he's like 35 now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's like, I sing with Walt Whitman, and he and I can talk music, because even though I'm not from the area, I kind of, try to make sure I'm well versed in Chicago music.
And what's his name?
His name is Michael Williams. He lives in Atlanta now, but so he moved to Atlanta. But he actually called, so I'm pretty sure he'll be interested in this.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we always talk, and we were trying to sneak up to the Donald Lawrence live recording, and I couldn't get off.
Right,
You know,
right.
so yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.